Hey Mustangs, it's Miss Hibbard coming at you with your notes for rotation versus revolution. So just like the notes we took on topographic maps, I want you to take your time, pause whenever you need to, rewind whenever you need to, and make these notes your own, including adding drawings, as well as highlighting, underlining, anything else that works for you. So our first question is, what is rotation? When you're looking down at this little animation right here, you might get a good idea. Rotation means spinning in place. So the Earth rotates on its axis. The axis is this line right here that goes down the middle of the Earth. It is imaginary. There is not actually a pole or a line going through the Earth. But if there was, it would go from the North Pole to the South Pole. So the Earth is rotating, spinning on this axis. If we were to be up in space above the North Pole looking down at Earth, the Earth would be rotating counterclockwise, so it would be going to the left. All right, make sure you pause here and write down anything you need, and also make sure you add a drawing, including something with arrows showing rotating around an axis. Our next question is, what causes night and day? So rotation is the thing that causes night and day. One rotation of Earth takes 24 hours. So we're going to call this a day. Now, not all planets take 24 hours. In fact, none do. Some take longer or shorter, but on Earth, it's 24 hours. So when the Earth is facing the sun, when the side of Earth that's facing the sun is getting light, that's daytime. And when it's facing away from the sun, it's nighttime. So here's a little animation for you. You can see the sun is shining and the Earth is rotating. So this line right here is sunset. It's like we're in the sun and then we're in the dark. So whenever the Earth is lit up, that's daytime, and the side of Earth that is not lit up is nighttime. Go ahead and pause here, and I would suggest a drawing very similar to the one I have right here. The next R word is revolution, and no, I'm not talking about the American Revolution like Mr. Shack, Mr. Justice, and Mr. Sims are teaching you about. I'm talking about this picture right here with the Earth flying around in space. So the Earth is revolving around the sun. It's moving in a path called an orbit. The orbit is the path that an object follows around another object. In this case, it's the Earth orbiting around the sun. If you're interested, it's in an elliptical path, not a circle, but it's not a very wide ellipse. It's almost a circle, but more elliptical. And every planet revolves around the sun. Also, the moon revolves around the Earth. So you'll use the word revolve, not just Earth around the sun, but anything that's moving around anything else. Again, if we were up in space, kind of above the north of the Earth and looking down at the solar system, the Earth's orbit would be counterclockwise, as you can see in this animation. Pause here and add to your notes, and definitely make a drawing of the Earth revolving around the sun in its path called an orbit. Our final question is, what determines the length of a year? Again, this is all about Earth. When the Earth revolves around the sun, it takes about 365 days, and this is what we call a year or an Earth year. Mercury, for example, Mercury's year is 88 days. Jupiter and Saturn's years are a lot longer. So on Earth, it's 365 days. Technically, it's about 365 and a quarter days, which is why we have leap year, so that every 4 years or so, it's not exactly 4 years, we add another day to kind of catch us up. But that's a year. Finally, these two words are really easy to mix up, so I'm going to show you some memory tricks. You don't need to know all of them, but I encourage you to write down at least one that would help you remember. So for rotation, I like to think about the rotate, A, and day. They have the same vowel sound. Or rotate with an A, around an axis, which starts with an A. Revolve is R-E, and year is Y-E. So revolve gives us a year. Or you can think about the O as the O in orbit, like we're revolving around that orbital path. So if either of those work for you. Another one is to think about the length of the word. Rotation is a shorter word than revolution. Day is shorter than year. So that equals the shorter word is the shorter length of time. And finally, although I said we weren't talking about the American Revolution, if you think about any revolution in history, for the most part, these revolutions, these wars take a very long time, and years are a much longer time than days. So these are your notes. Please feel free to go back for anything you need, and the slideshow is also available in Blend for you to just scroll through at your own pace. Thanks for watching.